Well, hello. Welcome to the live stream. If you hear a lot of noise right now, I'm in the basement. This is where I'm set up for now, but that's all right. I can still hear you and you can hear me, so that's all I'm talking about. So today we're going to be having a live stream on just Q&A. Feel free to ask your questions. Let's focus on gardening, composting, homesteading, and any other questions that you might have today. So let's get this party started. If you're interested in becoming on the live stream, all you have to do is click on this link that I'm going to put right here for you, and you're able to join this live stream. I'm going to set it down right here as of right now. Type this in. All right, let me type that in, make sure I spell it right. I can take time out to say thank you for taking time out to join this live stream. Hey, Chocolate Brother, good to have you here. Thank you for coming here. I'm just got a Q&A on any type of topic such as worms, farming, homesteading, whatever you're into. You let me know. Leave it in the comments box below, and we can go from there. But thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna leave that there. How are you doing today? So, Chocolate Brother, how are you doing today? Make sure I spell your name right. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Let me type that in again. Good morning. Good morning. We're doing some Q&A today on gardening, worms, homesteading, whatever you have. Feel free to leave your questions. Okay, let me set that on there. All right, there we go. So how you doing, Sharon? How's your morning going? And let me know where you guys are from. What zone? Where you from? Talk to me. Let me know. Hi, Mimi. Good to see you. Long time no see. I understand that. Family first. It's good to have you here. Thank you for attending. It's just a Q&A today. Just trying to touch base with people. So that's what this live stream is all about. So thank you for having her. Hello, James Franklin. Good to have you here. Thank you for attending. I'm doing day, hanging in there. How's your day going? If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them out to me. Like I says, I'm here to No, Mimi, I definitely understand. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on. The weather's a lot nicer for your business, so congratulations on you getting more sales. You know, being busy is a good thing. That's definitely meaning some job security. Okay. So, Chocolate Brother, from Patterson, New Jersey. You have snow there right now? See if this is going to work. If you haven't already, please give this video a like because it helps to stimulate the YouTube algorithm to get it out there. So I will appreciate that. Okay, so you don't have snow. That's cool. Yeah, it's snowing right now. We have flurries. I'm in Iowa, Zone 5A. So yeah, you never know what you're gonna get in this state when it comes to the weather. But it's like I said, right now it's snowing outside. There's flurries. It's a dusting. So and if you type in the word joke, you'll get a random dad joke. So that's JOKE. And that'll give you a random dad joke. So if you have any questions, shoot them out at me. You know, if you want to join the stream, let me know, and I can invite you to be on the stream as well. Good to have you here, Eclipse Solar. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the stream. So if you're a gardener, let me know. Hit yes, I'm a gardener. Okay. See what your question is. I have a question. I have a small worm farm. It's tiered. Okay, I added the next tier last week. This week I'm getting a little liquid coming out from the bottom. What should I do with it? I would just say just to discard your liquid and just pour it on the grass because that's a leachate. It's not a worm tea. So from my experience, that's not a good option to use that. But also a liquid can be a sign that you are feeding it too much moisture. Like depends on what fruits or vegetables you're feeding them because a lot of them have a lot of water, such as watermelon, lettuce if you freeze and thaw. But what kind of what do you usually feed your worms, Sharon? What is the best breeding bin or a regular bin versus worm chow only bin? Yes, I'm a gardener. Well, thank you for that. It depends on what you want to do with your bins. If you're going to use worm chow, I would just say that is more for breeding. I would think if you're going to sell your worms, go that route because the worm chow makes your worms bulky. But if you just want to have your worms consume food scraps to help reduce and recycle your waste, just to get a regular bin, such as totes that I use, or you can use worm towels, whatever you're into. But the worm towel is more for people that sell worms, and a regular worm bin's for more like worms eating your food scraps. So I hope that answered your question. If it did, give me a thumbs up. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's a wee moist, so I've thrown in more cardboard. That's good. Cardboard's a good thing. Okay. Yeah, as long as you don't overfeed them, you just keep it simple, you'll be just fine. A lot of people, even me starting out, you want to give them so much food that they can't consume it. So feed them less and you'll have a successful worm bin. So thank you for your question. I appreciate that. So solar eclipse, where do you live? What zone are you in? Or eclipse solar? And James Franklin, what's your zone? And what do you usually grow there, James? I'll wait for you guys to ask me questions. Hi, Little Rock. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining. This is just a live stream. It's a Q&A. So it's gardening, homesteading, composting, any of that. We're here to help each other become successful worm farmers, gardeners, and homesteaders. So feel free to ask any questions when it comes related to that. If I don't know the answer, I'll let you know, and I will get back with you with the resources that I have found to help. Okay. If you want to join the stream, that's the link right there. That's good. I appreciate you asking the questions. Thank you so much for your two questions. Like I said, the best breeding bin, from what I know, it's your own personal preference, but I use totes. Some people use 360s, like I said, or uh, continuous flow through systems. It depends what you're into. But with me, totes have been successful over my years of raising worms. I'm actually starting a new small business dealing in rare house plants, and I plan to sell my leftover worm castings as my own homegrown fertilizer. I'm new to worms, so I really appreciate your help. Yep, thank you, and good luck with your business. All I can do is share what I know, my trials and failures, and make you become better than I am. That's my goal, is to just give people tips on how to become successful worm farmers. There's a lot of people in this community that I connect with, so I have plenty of resources to go back to. So thank you, Sharon, for that. And like I said, I wish you the best with your business. And like I says, I'm just waiting on you to let me know what you want, your question, because I have like so many videos that I shared with worms, and I just want to help you to. What tiered worm farms are you using? I don't use any. I just have Rubbermaid totes. I used to have two totes. I would used to drill holes in one on the bottom for drainage, and the other one would not have holes. But now I just use one tote, and that's how my worms are living in the worm bins. So nope, I've never used the tier. How do you best deal with mites? I've heard that people put wet bread into their worm bins, and that helped to eliminate the mites in their worm farm. So try some bread, get it wet, put it in there. Once the mites get attracted to the bread, get rid of the bread, dispose of it outside somewhere, and that should help eliminate your mite problem. So let me know your thoughts and if that worked for you, because I'd like to hear your feedback. Thank you. Good question. How to use worm castings in the garden? What proportion of soil? How often, etc., etc. Let's say the best thing, like what the castings, the best way to do them is to sift them. If you can sift them, they'll be flakier, and you put them on the base of your plants, and you can do that as of right now. Or you can do it, just take them out of your worm farm as they are, and place them on the base of your plants, and that will help. But it's a slow releasing um, fertilizer, so you'll be fine. So you can do it once every 2 or 3 weeks, and that'll definitely you'll see the results of your plants thriving. So it's up to you. I'd say about every 2 or 3 weeks, put them on the base of your plants and see how things are working out for you. So I hope that answered your question. Little House on the Rock, thank you for that. And what I'm going to do too, I'm going to make my own fertilizer. I'm starting to mix like seedling mix, castings together, and whatever, some soil or potting soil is too, and add that together, mix it up, and add it to my plants. Yep, I just started a garden. I haven't been able to really put things in the ground because the weather's been still kind of cold, but I got kale, lettuce, and cabbage, and some cilantro growing in here. So I'm gonna see how that works out this year. I'm really looking forward to doing this gardening thing. I want to reap the benefits of my harvest. And you're welcome, James. You're welcome, sir. I've been using a few tablespoons in my say. Okay, that's cool. So a few tablespoons will work too. So Sharon just shared something, so thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Everyone's feedback is really helpful for this community. Like I says, I'm still learning, and what works for me, try it out for yourself and see if it works for you. Good to have you here. Thanks for attending, Rick. Appreciate you being here. We're doing a live stream to some Q&A. If you have any questions, shoot them out to me. Like I says, I can share a little bit about. I'm just I'm a greenhorn right now when it comes to gardening, but I'm learning. So my goal is to have a nice harvest this year. So I was saying at one of my, I just did a workshop at the Y, and we were just saying in general that when it comes to gardening, you're connected with gardeners, worm farmers, and homesteading. They all go together. So that's what makes this community great. Is all a diversity of knowledge and wealth and resources. So I'm glad that I'm definitely involved with this community. And I wanted to say thank you all for joining this live stream. I sprinkle castings to my house plants. I can see the difference in a week. That's awesome. So what did you notice? Did you see like your plants growing quicker? Did they grow more? They were healthier? Because someone, his name's Clive, and he had worm castings and other types of soil, and the worm castings by far were the best options for the plant. So, yeah, I definitely understand that worm castings have great benefits. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys know each other. Oh yeah, Rick, I remember now. Yep, Marty's live stream was fun. I had a great time doing a stream with him. So yeah, that was really a nice Q&A. It was great to be able to meet you and other people through his community. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak on Marty's live stream. So yeah, Marty's a great guy. He's got plenty of knowledge and expertise when it comes to worm farms. Yes, to start to grow quicker and can hold the moisture better. Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate you sharing that. Thank you for sharing the results of your worm castings. Yeah, we just got to get the word out. We have to let people know that they don't have to go out and spend money to buy castings, worm castings and stuff, when they can buy worms, have them reproduce and multiply, make your castings for you, and you can keep reusing your castings. That's awesome. And what's the weather right now for you guys? And what's the time? And so it's probably like, let me see. So it's probably like nine a.m. in Australia. I'm guessing, if I'm correct. So I see the stream with Marty, and I think it's probably about 9 a.m. if that's correct. This camera is weird. I'm not used to the. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Thank you for sharing that. I did a stream with Marty, and I missed today because I forgot you guys were ahead of me, and I didn't know that. So it was a learning experience. Oh wow! Well, thank you for attending. It's late. I appreciate you just stopping by and saying hi, Little House on the Rock for me. So thank you for stopping by. Wow, that's cold. That's chilly. That's what we have. We're in Zone 5A, and I think right now it's about at least 30, about 31 degrees with snow right now. So and this weather here where I live, it could be 60 one day, and then the next day it could drop down to 50 below. And I have experienced that before. But it went from 50 degrees down to negative 50 degrees overnight, and then went back to 50. I was like, that was a huge culture shock. And you're supposed to start your cars outside every half an hour so they wouldn't freeze or wouldn't the cold wouldn't prevent it from starting. But my car wouldn't start. It was so cold. I had to get jumped. So how long have you all been raising worms? I've been doing it for about 6 years now. Okay, that's not bad. Fifties is decent, but to some states or countries that's pretty cold. But that's adaptable for Iowa. 78. That's nice. That's nice temps. Wow. So how long have you been worm farming? What's your story? How did you get started? I'd like to know your story. Okay, that's cool. Thank you for sharing your temperatures. Okay, I started in '07 for my boss and off and on since. That's cool. Thank you for sharing. I think that's the best thing I ever done was gotten into worm farming. I never really knew the benefits until I really got connected with them, and now I'm trying my best to share my experience with everyone in the world. Try to host workshops and just get the word out there when it comes to worm farming. Okay, on since January, I'm really new to this. I took up a council offer. Big push here to change behavior on rubbish, so I got a worm farm. But thank you, you're making a difference. It all starts with one. Yeah, when I did my workshop, um, a lot of people didn't know that worms would eat cardboard, napkins, and all that stuff. And I was telling them examples how their waste would be reduced, and that made them really think about the benefits of worms. Some people don't like touching worms, which I can understand because they think they're nasty. But to me, no problem. It's like picking up spaghetti noodles. But yeah, power and benefits of worms. Rick, I compost huge pallet boxes with worms at it. Get horse manure, clean grasses, coffee grounds, and vegetables from green grocers. Well, good for you. That's good. That's awesome. It's a good. It's good. That's some great feedback right there. Great feedback. I love it. They're now just as much part of my family as my cat and plants. I plan to expand and add three or more. Three, four more. Well, good for you. Yeah, it's good to always have the chance extra space and the opportunity to add more worms. It's always good to do that. I have four active bins right now, and I have the chance to make two more, but we'll wait and see what happens. But the two that I don't have active are the ones. Three out of four of my bins. One has holes on the bottom. That's the one my red wigglers. But my other two extra bins are the ones that don't have holes. So there's good perks with that. So if you'd like to join the stream, here's the link. I just put the link on to join the stream. If you're not camera shy, and if you have a webcam, hop on in. I'd like to talk to you and speak to you live. The only time for us to plant garlic and onion in the garden here in Sydney. Well, good luck with that. What do I use as worm bedding? I just use shredded cardboard, moist as the wrung out sponge and newspaper. Those are the two things I use: cardboard and newspaper. Just keep it basic, no peat moss, no cocoa core, and that's what works for me. And my worms are just chowing down on that stuff. What do you use as worm bedding, Sharon? I'd like to know. That's the thing, AJ. Many people don't understand the benefits. Examples: some worms in their garden beds, and there are no no need to raise them. But the truth be told, that worms are different. That's right. They're all different, just like dogs. Different dogs do different things. Like I said in my workshop, you can't have a Yorkie on the canine unit, or you can't have a Chihuahua pulling a sled. You got to have the Huskies for the sled and the Chihuahua doing his thing. But yeah, worms come in varieties, and the four basic ones are the compost worms are red wigglers, European night crawlers, African night crawlers, and blue worms. Always want to have more worms. I always want to have more worms to deal with our excessive production of coffee grounds and tea leaves. Remember talking about it with my husband almost 30 years ago. That's awesome. It's great, great memory. That's cool. That's cool. I've run it over Garden Life. Good to have you here. The thing about shredded paper, I use it, but it gets matted down. So make sure, excuse me, excuse me, pardon me. But the main thing with, like, if you use paper, make sure you fluff it up because it does get like matted down, and but the worms still eat that. So that's what makes newspaper and regular white paper from like your fax machines or copiers different. Like I said, always make sure you fluff up your bedding when it comes to your Reddit shredded paper, the shredded copy paper. Okay. Hope that was helpful. Okay. Yep, I heard that's sweet. I heard of mushroom compost from Marty First, or not Marty First, Marty's Gardens. So thank you for that. And what are your results with the cocoa core? Do you notice a difference from like when you put it in? Does it turn brown or black, or how do you know when the castings are different? How do you notice the castings from the cocoa core? Hello, good to have you here. Thank you for stopping by. It's Q&A. Shoot questions out. Shoot some questions out. Now, finally, after moving to this house in July, I have space to do it. I started in September with 690 European night crawlers. Well, that's cool. But the good thing about the European night crawlers or worms in general, you can always start with what you have. We always compare ourselves to someone else, so we have to get out of that mindset. So yeah, start off small and use what you have when it comes to composting worms. But that's definitely good feedback. Thank you for sharing that one. Thank you for saying that for my sneeze. Bless you. Thank you. That's sweet. Okay, I mix paper with coffee and it helps. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, worms love coffee. And another thing that we have found out recently that coffee is not a grit source; it's a nitrogen source. So it took me. I just realized that I thought it was always grit because that's what I was heard. I was always heard and told. But now I know that coffee is a nitrogen and not a grit source. I use cocoa core and it's light brown when the casting starts showing up. It's a dark color, but there's a difference. All right, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you. They just turn into regular worm castings over time, so when the bedding's all gone, time to harvest. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you letting me know. Like I says, I've never used cocoa core. When I first started out, I grabbed peat moss, but I heard that peat moss had sometimes it has like chemicals in it, so I threw that out and just started using strictly cardboard and newspaper. But my way is not the only way. Use what works best for you. That's what makes us all unique. So if your worms are doing what they're supposed to do, that's all that matters. So yeah, like it says, what works for you, stick with it. When you get more experience in the future, get experiment worm bin and try different things. Eggshells in the microwave, then crush. That's what I do. I put my eggshells in the microwave for about a minute 30. Then I let them cool down, put them into my uh, mini blender, my Magic Blender Mini, grind them up, and then yeah, they're powdery. It's a powdery grit source. And the best thing to do too is the reason why we cook our eggshells is to kill the harmful bacteria such as the the salmonella or E. coli, whatever eggs have. So yeah, always if you can bake your eggs. Use the microwave if you have one. Bake them for about a minute 30, so that way you'll kill all the harmful bacteria and use that as a grit source. I used peat moss before. My worms were doing everything. That's okay. Yeah, your worms will let you know. So thank you. Yep, I did. Like I said, peat moss. I tried it once, and that just wasn't my thing. So thank you for sharing that. So where are you from, Ronald Overgarden? And what's your zone? Are you I'm in zone 5A. I use eggshells for grit, but I hear you can use crushed coral, which you can get super cheap at an aquarium. Well, that's good feedback. Thanks for sharing that. I've heard that you could use crushed bones, like if you if you eat chicken, you have the bones and stuff. You can make bone meal, and they can use that as grit. Yep, you can use a hand. You can use sand. So yeah, there's so many sources, but the coral is a good one. Thank you for sharing that one. It's something new that I learned. Cleveland, Texas, Zone A, Zone 8A. Well, thanks for sharing that. So Texas has to be hot right now. I have a lot of family in Texas, and that's where I was born. I was born in San Antonio back in the day, many years ago. We eat around 50 eggs a week. LOL. That's funny. Cool. So you must live on an do you homestead? Little house on the rock? That's a lot of eggs. And how many people eat that many eggs in general? What's in your house? 50 eggs. Wow. I'm not judging. I like eggs. The way I like my eggs the best is I like to put soy sauce on them. I love me some soy sauce on my eggs. So have you ever lost your worms? Like have you ever killed them? Like from being too hot or something? Let me know your feedback on what happened to your worms. The only way I was unsuccessful with my worms is that they froze. It got really cold. They're outside in the winter, and my worms froze to death. So I learned the valuable lessons that worms don't like to be, really cold or way too hot because you can kill them. I love eggs, but I couldn't do that many. I hear you. Okay, it's a family of four. We eat proper human diet. Yep. Do what you have to do. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. So did you guys buy your worm towers or did you get them for free? Because there's some people that I've connected with that someone gave them the worm tower for free. So I'm like, oh, that's a nice bargain. Free is always good. So how did your worms die, James? Not yet. I have my worm in a laundry where have a really big escape. I've had the odd escapee, but I'm lucky. No problems yet. Well, good for you. Yeah, I'm downstairs in the basement, so if you hear my washing machine draining, that's what it is. Yep. As long as you're gardening, that's cool. It doesn't matter the size or the place. I just did a challenge, which is going to end on the 30th of this month. This is the last day, but I did a cardboard box challenge. That was one of my latest videos, and people had to do a before and after of the seeds they planted. So there's still time. If you're interested, go to my channel, look at my cardboard box challenge, accept the challenge, and show me your before and afters. Like I said, it ends on April 30th, 2022. That's the cardboard seed box challenge. I just use a tote box. Warm towels are nice, but not in the budget. Okay. Yep. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Keeping it simple, keep it basic. So that's definitely what I'm talking about. Here goes my Facebook channel, my worm farming community. So if you're interested, it's on Facebook. Become a member. It's a public group, and I'd like to have you there just to share your tips, tricks, show your worm successes, and become part of that community. But like I said, I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook group, so check it out if you're interested. That's the link right there. Getting out bin, okay, or too long, okay, or too long below in the wet zone. It's never many, but I don't like. That's right. You don't like to lose any. They're your pets. You want to try to keep as many as you can alive. I would love to, but in California, or in waiting to arrival or first grandbaby. Okay. Well, congratulations on that. Congratulations. I had escapees for the first month, so I moved worms to a bin with lid, and it's okay. Okay. Yep. Nothing wrong with that either. I'm barely on Facebook. I just go on for a little bit, but my main time is spent on YouTube. That's where I built my community and my relationships and my friendships with everyone. So, yeah, I don't do those other social media platforms, just YouTube. Yep, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your successes and what you use as your worm farm. Appreciate that. Our accounts, Sharon Carpenter, our accounts are offering each home a worm bin or compost bin for 80% off. I got a newsletter and took them up on it. That's how I got into it. That's a nice bargain, 80% off. Well, good for you. Oh, you can't beat that. Yeah, a lot of people don't know a bargain. It's like, wow. Were there a certain amount you had to, could you get like more than one? Could you get two, for that price? Or was it just one per family? Sharon, that's cool. Little House on the Rock said that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yep, exactly. Exactly. One per household. What about the other households that don't want one? You might go to your neighbor, and if they're not interested, shoot, just tell them to buy it, and you'll take that one. That's a nice deal. Like I said, 80% off. Definitely. Thank you for sharing that one. Because everyone's not going to use a worm farm. It's going to take a while to get people, but long as if you can get one person to start it, you're doing good. It all starts with one. Unless you're a worm, then it starts with two. So have you guys had any other pests inside of your worm bins before? Like, what was your main pest that you had problems with? Here was just fruit flies. Thank God for that. But a lot of people have had other problems such as mites and snails and all that stuff. So nope, not me. I just have just basic. Once the fruit flies come around, that's about it. But I try to freeze and thaw all my fruit scraps when I definitely know it's time for the fruit flies to be around. Excuse me. Hiccup. Excuse me. So yeah, shoot some questions out at me. And if you haven't already, give this video a like, please. I would like for you to give it a like so that way we can get the word out and share it more with people in the worm farming community. So thank you for that. Yeah, I have had what looks like mites before. I have no idea what they were or how to get rid of them. Okay, thank you for sharing. Yeah, but I heard it was definitely like bread. Wet bread was the main way to get rid of them. Birds. When I was keeping my farm outside the magpie, I was looking at the bin like a yeah. Birds can be definitely a nuisance when it comes to your worms. I've had some mites, but they are not a problem. Now it seems everyone has fungus gnats. Okay. So what have you tried to do with your fungus gnats? Could you like get some wet newspaper, like the whole sheet, wet it down and then put it over as a cover sheet? Would that work? Or do you have to set up fruit fly traps to kill them? What's your method to get rid of fungus gnats? I'm thinking maybe a bait trap would work to dispose of those. If I'm right, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'd like to hear either way with the fungus gnats. Sorry, missed that. Fungus gnats are my issue, but that's because of all my house. Okay, because of all of my house plants. And no, you have to keep things dry. Okay, thank you for letting me know about that. That's definitely something new for me to know. I found something else out, learned something new. So thank you. So what do you guys use your worms for? Do any of you fish? Do any fishing with your European night crawlers or anything? Because I don't do any fishing with my worms. They're just strictly composting. And the worms I raise are just basic red wigglers, European night crawlers, and I think my red wigglers have a mixture of blue worms mixed in, but that's not a problem. So yeah, I don't see any problem with that. And now I'm trying. Now I'm starting having a worm bin established with red wigglers, European night crawlers, and blue worms. And that's the bin I like the best out of all these worms. I like the variety of worms together. And the thing about worms, red wigglers and European night crawlers don't mate with other species of worms, so you have no problem with crossbreeding your worms. I've added unfrozen veggie scraps to one of my bins, and fruit flies exploded. But more bedding and trap with vinegar work well, and they disappeared after a couple weeks. Yep, I like the fruit fly trap. That's the best, one of the best methods to get rid of them. But the first thing is, like you said, is to try to freeze and thaw your food scraps to eliminate those flies. There's a stuff called mosquito bits. It's supposed to help with gnats. I'm wondering if it would harm the worms. Has anyone tried that? Has anyone tried the mosquito bits? Let me know. I'd love to hear your knowledge on that one. So I don't know the answer to that one, but I've heard the same thing, and I don't know if they will hurt your worms. No, I don't fish strictly for worm castings. I have a lot of aquariums too, so I keep fish. I wouldn't add mosquito bits to worms to a worm farm though. So I'd go with you. Like I says, if you don't know if it's going to work and you go by what someone else says, I don't know. You got to go by the majority. So do a lot of research if you're going to attempt to do that. So like I said, I've never tried that, so I don't know the answer to that one. So Sharon, what kind of fish do you have? Do you have a saltwater aquarium or a freshwater? That's awesome. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I used to fish years ago. Fungus gnats came with houseplants that I got from one of my clients, and I can't get rid of them. I'm killing around 200 every day. Order sticky traps now and hope they work. Wow, that's a lot of flies. It's a lot of flies. Yeah, hopefully you get that problem solved. Hopefully you get that figured out, man. Or woman, I'm sorry. 3 freshwater planet tanks and 1 saltwater coral. 4 foot by 2 foot, which is my showpiece. That's cool. So what do you have in your saltwater? You have like clownfish in there and stuff? Happy Easter, Bart Chuckin. Happy Easter. Got a question for you, Bart Chuckin. Do you know if you can use mosquito bits in a worm farm? Let me know your thoughts on that. I'm saying no. Sharon said she wouldn't do it because I don't have any experience. But do you have any feedback on mosquito bits to control pests? I like fishing, but I don't have a lot of experience fishing from our boat. Okay, okay. Hi, Marty. Good to have you here. That's awesome. That is awesome. Marty, question for you. Do you know anything about mosquito bits for like fungus gnats or something? Because I don't know the answer to that one. Let's see. So Bart Chuckin said, I've just heard a houseplant question with fungus gnats. Oh, do you know if the mosquito bits placed in a worm farm would hurt your worms? Because that's the thing that we're hearing about now is the bits in a worm farm. So what is your feedback on that? Like I says, I don't know the answer. I never used them. Yep, we got Marty in the house. We got Bart Chuck in the house. Marty says, my voice, no poisons in the worm farm at all. Getting the bedding and food right, I would never use mosquito bits. So Marty says no. And he's got a lot of experience. So if he says it, I wouldn't even attempt it. So listen to him. He's got a lot more experience than I do in worm farming. So thank you, Marty, for your feedback. Yeah, Marty and Bart Chuck, we're just doing a live Q&A. Shoot questions out, help this community out. So we can learn and grow from each other. So that's what this live stream's all about today. Yep, I'm glad you asked too, because if you don't ask, we don't know the answer. So thank you, Ron, over Garden Life, for your question. So that was helpful, and that's why I like live streams, because you can actually connect with people and they'll give you their feedback. So, yep, thank you for the question. Oh, mosquito bits are super expensive here in Oz. You have to import them from the UK. Sticky traps are your best options, and they work well. But thank you for sharing. Yeah. So happy Easter, Rick. Enjoy your day. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, we'll we'll shoot for a few more minutes. If you don't have any more questions, let me know. But if someone wants to attend the live stream for a few minutes, hop on in. I'll send you the link so you can join for free if you're interested, and leave any helpful tips. I just picked up mosquito bits, but they're to use on fungus gnats and seed startings on the grow lights. A friend had it. We mixed it up, had the directions, instructions, and it worked well for him. All right, thank you. So it's good for plants, but don't put them in your worm bed. Boy, Chuck, and I gotta let you know, at my seed box challenge so far, I had to add more seeds because they didn't sprout. So I added more seeds in my box, put a lighter layer of soil on top, and now I have sprouts. So I'm looking forward to showing you the results on April 30th to see my cardboard cardboard seed box results. I didn't see mosquito bits here. I live on the island that is only 25 square miles, so not many places to look for it. Okay, all right. Yep, that's three Aussies. Yep, you're correct. You are very correct about that. So I will see if anyone has any more questions. It's 6:58 p.m. here. I don't want to rush off if people have questions, but if you don't have questions, we'll end this live within the next 3 to 5 minutes, unless there's more questions. But happy Easter! I want to say thank you all for just checking out the stream. So appreciate that. Sounds good. Radish seeds are doing well, and my cardboard box sounds well. Good for you. Good for you, Barchuckin. Good for you. I know Marty first, and I call you Marty first because I used to work with Marty first. But I worked with a guy called Marty. So if you haven't already, check out Marty Gardens channel. He's got a lot of experience on worm farming. Definitely garden with Barchuckin. He has worms and does gardening. If you do YouTube videos as well, let me know so I can give you a shout out. Thank you. You have a happy Easter. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you taking time out to share your questions with us. Oh, you're fine. Oh, sorry to hear about your worms. I mean, your worms getting invaded by ants. So I'm looking forward to seeing the video on the worm invasion with the ants. So thank you for sharing, Marty. So you have a great day, mate. Yep, you're welcome, Barchuck, and no problem. Any other questions, anyone? Any other questions? Yep, happy Easter. I appreciate you stopping by. Yep, thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Hope to see you again. You too, Marty. God bless you. Have a happy Easter. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that. Well, here's what I recommend us all to do. Start sharing our worm journeys. Try to motivate people to get the worms, get invested in worms and start growing and composting and all that good stuff. Not the style of bin, the method. So, which best? So, which best, a breeding bin versus regular? Like I says, I don't really know. Like I said, I just use totes. And other people use worm bin 360s. But if you're just starting out, like I said, just keep it simple. Use totes, and then if you have the funds, buy yourself a worm tower and try that. But if you're trying to sell worms, just feed them the worm chow. But if you're not, gonna breed your worms, like I said, just don't use the worm chow. Feed them your food scraps. But it's your preference. But like I says, I just focus feeding my worms the food scraps, the cardboard, and the newspaper. So I'll see what happens within the next 2 minutes, and then we will call it a day or a night wherever you live. So I hope I answered your question, James. Let's see. Yep, exactly. You're welcome, AJ. My worms, these slipper and wiggles, guys, gals. Yep, they're hermaphrodites. Well, I don't want to hold you guys and gals up. I just want to take time out to say thank you all so much for stopping by and checking out this live stream. I don't want to, you know, end the stream, but sometimes great things must come to an end. I mean, best for the care of the worms. Chow for breeder bin or regular feeding and scraps for both care. Yeah, you can feed them either way. Like I said, the chow is for breeder and the regular feeding and scraps for your regular worms. But yeah, you can give them both the worm chow or the food scrap. Like I said, it's just your preference. But I don't use the worm chow. I can make it, but I just feed them the food scraps that I have here. My main goal is to deal with food scraps, so I want a population of worms that we deal with. Castings is a bonus. That's a true statement. True statement. I'm just checking the chat to see if anyone else has anything else they would like to leave for me. Let me know, because I want to try to answer everyone's question before I leave here. Yep, exactly. Yep, they'll breed in both. So it's best I split the bin. It depends how many worms you have in your bin. It depends on the size. Um, what is your goal? Are you planning on selling worms? But don't rush into splitting your bin. It's great. The best advice is to, oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Black Soldier Fly, for joining my membership channel. I appreciate that. You won't be disappointed. There's a lot of perks that are involved with that. So if you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, there's a lot of perks for the membership program. So thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you for the love and support of my channel. Yeah, like I said, always leave questions in the membership program, and I'll get back with you and help you out. So thanks again. But yeah, I would split the bin when you have more worms because I kind of got anxious and wanted to split the bin. But it's best just to calm down, let the worms multiply, then you can split your bin again. So I hope that was helpful for you. Little house, I want to build my population to handle my waste stream. That's cool. Okay, sweet. I started one bin, now I have three. Think more about what is your goal and then the best way to achieve it. True statement. True statement. Yep. Yep. What is your goal? What is your plan? You got to have that. Yep. Yep. True. If you're into black soldier flies, check out Black Soldier Fly Lava's channel. He does videos on the black soldier flies. Good night, Barchak, and thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. I'll be looking forward to seeing more of your videos, man. Take care. So, any other questions? It says I don't want to rush you off, but I want to be able to answer as many questions as I can. So, once again, thank you, Black Soldier Fly Lava, or Larva, how you pronounce it, for becoming a channel member. It means a lot. Like I says, you will not be disappointed. Well, I want to take time out to say thank you all so much for watching this live stream. It means a lot. Hopefully, I can do one of these at least once a month because I'm about to get really busy with my job. But I'll keep uploading weekly videos. If you're a channel member, leave comments in the on the community tab in the channel box or the channel link because I'll get back with you. If you have any questions or concerns, leave it in there and we can touch base. A lot of perks, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you as a channel member and as a subscriber to my channel. So thank you all for that. My goal is to have enough to handle my waste and give my castings for the garden. That's good. That's a good goal. You just have to depend on the size of your family, and that determines how much food your worms can eat. So, on average, worms eat half their weight of food a day. So, the best thing is to do is try to guesstimate how many worms you have and feed them that amount of food scraps, and don't overfeed them. Less is always best. So, but I want to take time out so much to say thank you all for stopping by this live stream. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe, warm, healthy. Continue raising your worms, gardening, homesteading, or your black soldier flies, whatever you're doing to make a difference. But I also want to take time out to say thank you all so much for watching the live stream. You have a great day. Bye.